So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Galaxy Note 10 versus Galaxy S10. Which should you buy? Because both of these are quite the same size, and naturally you would ask the question, should I just get the S10? I mean, it's about the same size. It's cheaper than the Note 10, and it has certain features the Note 10 doesn't have. Well, I can tell you right now that for $950, I'm not sure if this Note 10 is going to be worth it. The Galaxy S10 is around $899 on Samsung. Depending on where you look, it's already coming down in price. I've seen it in the sixes already. So I would just say that the S10 is just a cheaper phone. Let's just put it that way. Right now, you're going to save some money if you buy the Galaxy S10. But if you buy the Note 10, you do get the all-new S Pen features. So let's talk about which one is better. Okay, guys, so let's talk about the build and the design of both of these smartphones and which one's going to be for you. Now, we'll begin with the Galaxy Note 10. You could see a pretty square design, stretches the panel a little bit, and a lot of people are calling this a compact phone. It is more compact for a Note series device, but this is not a small phone. There's still a lot smaller phones than this, and I wouldn't categorize this as compact. I would categorize this as a smaller, large phone, and it does a good job at feeling that way. As 168 grams, so it's a lot lighter than prior Notes that came before it. It's quite thin here as well, just 7.9 millimeters. Also off to the left, you can see we have the power button on the left side, so lefties might like that. In addition, no Bixby key. Well, this can double as the Bixby key, but you can also turn that off and it could just be the power button. So no dedicated Bixby key anymore, which a lot of people do like. At the top, we do have the SIM card tray as well as the speaker grill. At the bottom, we do have ourselves speaker grill here, USB-C, S Pen. Overall, I gotta say that the Galaxy Note 10 has a light square feel. So if you kind of like that and you want the most screen you could get and the smallest note body possible, you will love this. Now the Galaxy S10 is a little bit more curvy on the edges right here. You can see it just curves a little bit more. It's a little bit sleeker in my opinion. Personally, I think the Galaxy S10 feels nicer to hold than the Galaxy Note 10. It's a lighter phone at 157 grams. It also has a pretty flat looking display compared to, some really sharp curves on like the Galaxy S8. So it's still curved, but it's more subtle than before. You still have the Infinity O, it's just buried over there on the right side. It's kind of out of the way a little bit more than the Galaxy Note 10, but the Galaxy Note 10 looks a little more symmetrical in that regard. This is also an extremely thin phone at 7.8 millimeters, so it's also thinner than the Galaxy Note 10. Now on the back, you can see that white is a lot different. This is the Aura white, and you can see you do have the triple camera in more of a horizontal fashion. Overall, I gotta say that both of these phones feel pretty much the same when it comes to premium. I just think that the design is a little bit better with the S10 due to the curve in your hand. It just feels more ergonomic. But the Galaxy Note 10 is a great step in the right direction if you want an S Pen and you wanted a smaller Galaxy Note 10. So make your decision based on those pointers I pointed out there. And both of these do have Gorilla Glass frames on both the front and the back, so they're pretty high quality in that respect. In addition, IP68 on both. So let's talk about their displays. Again, I'll begin with the Note 9. The benefits of the Note 9's display over the Galaxy S10s. Now, they're about the same brightness. I'm not noticing too much of a difference there. They both have night modes, but what's a big difference here is that the Galaxy Note 10 doesn't have as high of a resolution. This one only goes up to 2280 by 1080, so 401. And I say only, but it's still a pretty high resolution at 401 PPI. You still will notice that the S10 is far superior in resolution to this phone. We'll get to that in a minute. But where the Note 10 shines is that it feels more all screen because it's 90.1 or 90.9 screen to body ratio. So it has a higher screen to body ratio and it looks more symmetrical because the Infinity O is at the top. So I actually think the Note 10 feels like a more all screen phone than the Galaxy S10, but only very, very slightly. In terms of color reproduction and brightness and all that stuff, HDR10 plus support, the Note 10 has it, so very good display overall. Now, the Galaxy S10, though, has a much higher resolution, so technically I think it's a superior display to that of the Galaxy Note 10 just because of the higher resolution, but this is not going to matter to most people. So I would say if you're going to buy one of these phones, make it based on where the Infinity O bothers you more, up in the right corner or up at the top, because in terms of the actual usage day to day, unless you're putting these side by side, you probably won't notice too much of a difference. However, if you are a pixel peeper and you love high resolution, there's no other choice but the Galaxy S10 here. But again, if you like more of an all-screen look, you're gonna like the Note 10 more. So talking about the software, Galaxy Note 10 actually comes with One UI 1.5 and Android 9 Pie, so it is on a newer version of the One UI. Galaxy S10 comes with One UI 1.1 and Android version 9. But at the end of the day, the software experience is literally about the same. The only difference, again, is down to the S Pen software that comes down on the Galaxy Note 10. Also, you have link to Windows here, as well as Samsung DeX to a Mac or a PC. And other than that, I'm not seeing too much of a difference between both of these. The core experience is generally the same. Now, I don't see the screen recorder option in here on the S10. I see it here for the Note 10. So there's just a few little new features thrown in here and there. I would say that the One UI version 1.5 definitely better for the Note 10. So if you want the latest Samsung software, I'd pick the Note 10 here, but core experience, what you're actually going to use most of the time, it's about the same experience. So we don't need to go on and on about that. Both can multitask, both can do pop view windows, both can do pretty much all the core essentials you love from Samsung devices. So in terms of performance, they're literally the same. 855 CPUs, 8 gigabytes of RAM. There's faster storage on the Note 10, but it doesn't have expandable storage, which you can get a very fast SD card for Galaxy S10. So we don't need to go on and on about performance. They literally perform exactly the same in the day-to-day use. So there is no difference there. If you want an extremely fast phone, you'll be happy with both of these. If you want very fast file transferring, like the top of the game, then you'll definitely want the Note 10 with its new file transfer 3.0. It's definitely up there. Okay, so which one should you choose in terms of storage? Now, UFS 3.0 on the Note 10 is very fast file transferring storage. So if you care about internal storage, you'll probably just want the Note 10. But if you like to expand your memory, you'll want the Galaxy S10. This phone has expandable storage via the SD card up here. And this one also comes with less storage though from the start, and it's a little bit slower storage. So keep that in mind. You get more storage on the Note 10, but you don't get to expand it here. So what you get is what you're stuck with here on the Note 10. For me, I personally would probably just take the Galaxy S10 storage because I can get this in 256 gig. I can get an expandable memory. And even though it's slightly slower, I'll live with that to have the expansion because having the expansion helps with long-term use. If you don't want to be, managing the files too much, you can just throw in a new SD card and you have tons more storage. So it's really up to you, but for me, I'd pick the S10. Okay, so quickly talking about the cameras, triple camera on here and triple camera on the S10. They're basically the same camera. They just look a little bit different on the back. They both have 12 megapixel regular wides, 12 megapixel telephotos, and 16 megapixel ultra wide cameras on the rear. They both do 2160 at 60 FPS, and they both have pretty much the same software when you do open up those cameras. However, the night mode is included automatically in the Galaxy Note 10, whereas sometimes you'll just have to, take a photo and the scene optimizer will recognize it and throw it in night mode for my S10 over here. So that's something a little bit different. Also, you can AR doodle with the S Pen on this phone over here. But other than that, the software is about the same on both of them. You have live focus, slow motion. They're feature-packed phones. Let's just put it that way. If we go into the settings menu, you can see super loaded with features and features and features, and it just keeps on going. So I would say just take a look at these samples I took with both of them and make a decision based on the quality, which one you think is better for you. But for me, I found them to be literally exactly the same quality just about. So I wouldn't even pick either based on camera because it's literally about the same camera. So talking about the audio performance on both of them do have dual speakers, and both of them do have Dolby Atmos support, so they're both very loud and they both have pretty good sound. The Galaxy Note 10 has a speaker on the top up here. Galaxy S10 has it integrated above the bezel, right? Or it's in the bezel up there just a little bit. Now, one major difference on the Galaxy S10, which really sets this phone apart, is the headphone jack right there. So if you do want headphone jack, you still have it here. A Note 10 comes with the USB-C headphones, but you have headphone jack, dual speakers. This is just a better phone for audio for me because it's just more versatile than Note 10. Okay, so when it comes to the battery on both phones, they're both a pretty similar size battery, although the Note 10 has a 3500. This one has a 3400 for Galaxy S10. This one also comes with a 25-watt charger, so faster charging for the Note 10 out of the box. You have 15 watt over here for S10. But based on my initial testing, my final conclusion is I'm getting around the same battery life on both of these. I'm getting through most of the day, and then I got to top up like maybe 6-7 o'clock at night, so I don't really deplete the battery down too much. And if I really stretched it, I'll probably be ending up with a dead battery by the time it's like 10 o'clock p.m. on both of these. Final assessment is that you can get through the day with both of these if you're a light to medium user or you're a busy person, you're not on your phone constantly all day. But if you're a heavy phone user, both of these are just adequate and they're not going to please you, because you'll be needing to get to a charger a lot faster than you're used to if you use the phone heavily. So when it comes to the S Pen, there's only one phone here that has it, and that, of course, that's the Note 10. So if you're into productivity features, you want to write on your calendar, you want to AR doodle, you want to live message, you want to cut things out, you want to create notes, you want the S Pen. You want to take pictures from afar with the S Pen. You want this tool in your phone. There's no other pick. It's just the Note 10. So the Note 10 wins on the basis of productivity just because it has the S Pen that tucks right into the body itself. So Galaxy Note 10 is your pick. If you're heavily into productivity, you'll find more benefits out of this phone than the Galaxy S10. So phone call quality, both of these have been fantastic. They both hold on to signal strength very well. They both have good call quality through the earpieces. And I gotta say that the speakerphones could be a little bit louder on both of them, but I haven't had any drop calls with either. I've been testing both of them pretty rigorously with phone calls, and neither of them have given me an issue. So I gotta say that this area of phone call quality is stellar on both. Okay, so which one should you buy, Note 10 or S10? Now, I've been really thinking about this too, and it's been a really tough decision to make, and I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion here because it's not the latest phone out, but the S10 to me right now is the better pick based on this circumstance if you are paying cash money for the phone. Because right now, there's just too many corners cut at $949. It just feels like robbery on the Galaxy Note 10 for what they're giving you in comparison to what Samsung is giving you on the S10, as well as, prior phones that came before it. Note 9 was around the same price as this phone, and it gave you a higher resolution display. It gave you the same dual speakers. It gave you headphone jack. It gave you expandable memory. You can just see it when you pull out the SD card slot up here or the SIM card tray where they just didn't put it in there on purpose. This is a pure profit move right here to get you to buy the Note 10 Plus here on the Note 10. However, it's still a really good smartphone. It's probably just as good, if not better, than the S10 in terms of, everything it can do. It has the S Pen, which makes it really productive. But the S10 just didn't cut as many corners in comparison to its bigger brother, the S10 Plus. Now, my second thing is if you get these on a deal, like if you can get a trade-in, you'd knock the Note 10 down to like maybe 500 something bucks, maybe 600. Then yeah, I probably would pick the Note 10 because I get the S Pen, I get the more all-screen look and feel. But if you're just buying these from a pure cash standpoint, like full retail, you just pay cash money for your phone right now, S10. When the Note 10 comes down, then consider the Note 10. And that's my final conclusion between both of these. So what are your thoughts? Would you pick the Note 10 or would you pick the Galaxy S10? Comment them down below in the comment section of this video. If you found this one helpful, entertaining, enjoying, click the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well and peace.